Raven, the enigmatic half-demon heroine of DC Comics, created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez in the 1980s. Today we're going to be exploring the cultural and mythological influences that inspired Raven's character, from her design and spiritual undertones and powers, and critiques that they have, and sprinkle in a little bit of my opinion here and there, and what I would like to see from DC in the future, if they're thinking of, I guess, rebooting her character. Is that the word? I don't know. As always, this is my first video. Okay, of course, if you disagree with me, that's completely fine. You can, comment down below, or you can make your own separate video and call me out and be like, hey, you're wrong, I hate you, die. That's, fair enough. Also, just a disclaimer, this is the microphone that I'm using throughout the whole video, so if audio quality is bad, I am so sorry. Send me money and I will buy a better microphone or blow this video up. And I'm gonna be doing a makeup look inspired. Let me pull that down. There we go. I'm gonna be doing a makeup look inspired by Raven while I talk about Raven. It was either that or Minecraft videos. Who has the time? Guys, look how realistic my hair and Oh. Okay. Sorry. This is the primer I'm using. Raven is born as Rachel Roth to a human called Arella and interdimensional deadbeat demon dad, Trigon. Her conception, her story of birth is really depressing because her mom was manipulated by a cult that summons Trigon, and he did some things I'm not gonna say on screen, and it was just awful. And he basically wanted his offspring to become a vessel of his apocalyptic ambitions, I guess. And he was raised in Azarath, which is a dimension that's governed by pacifist monks. And since birth, she was trained to sort of suppress her emotions and master her empathetic powers to prevent Trigon's corruption. And in Azarath's teaching, it emphasizes on meditation, mantra recitations, and they kind of like mirror Buddhist and Jain practices of non-attachment and non-violence. I'm gonna just put the names on screen because I don't want to get caught mispronouncing stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna be using this primer just because. Nah, I'm not gonna use that primer actually. I'm gonna be mixing these two together because I cannot find my shade. For the life of me, I cannot find my shade. So, Raven's journey to Earth to recruit the Teen Titans, it underscores her struggle between her demonic lineage and her human empathy. This whole duality, this whole thing, darkness and lightness, it is a central theme in her character, as it's seen in the arcs of the Judas Contract, where she sacrifices herself to seal her deadbeat demon dad. And it embodies the Hindu concept of Tyaga, which I'm hoping I pronounced it correctly, and it is the sacrifice for the greater good, basically. And the destruction of Azarath and her whole sort of subsequent resurrection as a purified entity, it reflects the cyclical themes of death and rebirth, and it's sort of akin to the Hindu notion of Samsara, which is a cycle of reincarnation. Also, I'm using a silicone sponge. I hope it works. Guys. I really, really hope it works. Like, I swear to God, I cannot be caught spending like hundreds on makeup and for it to just turn out like it. Anyway, I'm just gonna use my hands now. Sorry. I'm using this for contouring stuff. Yeah. So her whole character design. George Perez initially used the Star Trek actress Persis Gambetta as a reference for Raven's design, and in the earlier sketches you can see her having like South Asian features such as tan skin and sort of an angular sort of face. I don't have that, and I wish I did. And honestly, in my opinion, I thought she looked really good. Like, I've seen the earlier sketches and I'm like, wow, she is so beautiful. But then they decided to settle with adopting a sort of like Eurocentric features for Raven instead, which was like, oh, okay. The decision to adopt Eurocentric features for Raven instead, like as her finalized design, the distance between her spiritual roots and her visual representation, it sort of, in my opinion, highlights a broader issue of tokenism in media. You have a lot of like fans agreeing with that because there's fan artists out there like Jordan Rodriguez that reimagined her in Indian attire, and I thought that she looked really beautiful. Honestly, it was good. This is actually way too light. This is way too light for my skin. This is practically my skin color, but it's okay. Okay, I'm just gonna use it as a guideline. Oh, and let's talk about the third eye. Like Raven's forehead gem, it symbolizes the Ajna chakra, which is a Hindu and Buddhist concept representing intuition and spiritual awakening. Hinduism, the third eye is linked to the goddess Shiva and her destructive powers and the transcendence of Maya, illusion basically. And it mirrors Raven's role as both the destroyer of Trigon's plan, of her deadbeat dad's plan, and being a spiritual guide. And her mantra, which is Azraf Metrion's and thoughts, even though it's fictional, it's sort of like a reminiscent of a Sanskrit rhythmic structure, akin to like Vedic mantras such as like Om Nama Shivaya. And mantras are well researching this. Mantras are actually really they're really beneficial. Like they help with clarity, self awareness, and reduce stress. Which, I'm being honest, if that is your father, you're gonna need all the mantras. Like you are gonna need to do all the mantras. Anyway, sorry, making it seem like Raven hates her dad. I don't think. Well, yeah, but yeah. Anyway, not sure why I keep looking at the camera when I have a mirror right here because it's not gonna look good if I'm using the camera as a mirror. Am I right, guys? Maybe I should add the highlight last. Yeah, this is fairly new, so. Bruh. Why is it not coming out when I squeeze it? Oh, I'm supposed to twist it. Ooh.
You stupid!
Owie. Here we are. Why is this still not dark? Spending all this money on makeup just for it to be shit. Damn. 3. Azarafian monks teaching that reflects Jainism and Buddhism. I probably should do my eyeshadow now. Guys, wait, we're speeding up, guys, wait. Max Bitter. Okay, so the Azarafian monks' teachings, it reflects Jainist and Buddhist teachings of ahimsa and metta, which is loving kindness, and Raven's struggle to balance her destructive potential with compassion parallels the Hindu tension between Dharma, which is duty, and Adharma, which is chaos. And yes, the same brush because I'm not wasting. I don't have that many brushes, guys. And this duality mirrors deities like the goddess Kali, who destroys evil to restore cosmic balance, and the goddess Shiva, which is the destroyer generator. And then we've seen Raven mention her soul self a lot. Her soul self is basically a manifestation of her inner powers, and it aligns with the yogic Atman, which is true self, and it transcends the physical sort of form to achieve clarity. Why my eyeshadows keep crumbling, guys? If anybody knows the answer, let me know. Yes, same brush also. I'm sorry, guys, but I'm not a makeup guru. I'm just doing a simple look. I'm not trying to overcomplicate Raven because I don't think she has the time to be doing all that makeup. I'm so sorry. I just don't think she has the time, especially with her fuck ass father on the loose. I don't think so. Anyway. Raven's ability to absorb others' pain reflects the Buddhist ideal of karuna, which is compassion, and it's shown in Teen Titans, the show where she self-sacrifices for her teammates, and it embodies the bodhisattva vow to alleviate suffering. I'm gonna use this. Oop, I think I'm gonna be using this one. I'm just gonna use my hand. I don't care. Adigaff, guys. I'm so sorry. I'm winning the Adigaff war. Winning the Adigaff war right now. I'm gonna be using Elf Pitch. It's not Elf. I made that up. I don't know what brand it is. Oh, Rimmel. Damn. Oh my god, my face. Now I look like a clown. What the fuck? Now I look like a fucked ass anime character. I'm gonna just add this. Okay, adding this was it is a last minute choice. So. Raven in her full glory. Okay. I forgot to do her eyebrows, but I don't give a gaff. I'm sorry. I don't give a gaff. She has better things to worry about, i.e., being the fuck out of her father, because, yeah, she has better things to worry about, like her fuck ass deadbeat fucking father, so. Okay, so the critical analysis. I guess obviously the main critique I have for Raven is the sort of like whitewashing of her character. In my opinion, I think other people agree as well. I feel like adopting a Eurocentric features for Raven, it kind of contrasts starkly with her Eastern spiritual roots, and it creates a sort of like disjointed identity, I think. And some may argue that this kind of reflects a sort of reluctance to non-Western representation, despite with all her like mantra and spiritual undertones that she has. Personally, I don't have kind of a big problem with it, despite the whole video being like, hey, Raven probably shouldn't be white. That's not going to be the title of the video, I promise. But basically, um, I understand. I get it. I get it. Because, like I said, she was created in the 1980s, and people's perception of other like non-Western cultures back then are probably from the media, and we all know the media is it's so like them basing their characters on people that they are surrounded with, I feel like is a much safer option than to create characters from other non-Western cultures. They're just gonna make a whole caricature instead. Like it's not gonna end well. So props to them, props to DC for playing it safe. There are a lot of like unexplored potentials for Raven's character though, like her mythological parallels that I keep referring back to the whole video, like the Hindu goddesses. Raven's role as a mediator between light and darkness, it really parallels the goddess Kali's transcendence of moral binaries. That's what I think anyway. But DC hasn't really explicitly like acknowledged that. Just as everything else that I've mentioned in the video, I don't think they've explicitly acknowledged that. I think in some of the comics it's shown that she's a polyglot because she's like smart like that, but her fluency in like Sanskrit, it's really underutilized, and I feel like if they integrate authentic mantras, it could deepen her cultural ties to her character. The Teen Titans animated series amplified her emotional complexity. It's kind of reminiscent of the Bhagavad Gita. I'm so sorry if I keep mispronouncing, I really am. Bhagavad Gita's exploration of duty and desire. Recent comics like Daughter of Darkness, it hints at Hindu themes by introducing Trigon's offspring across dimensions, and it's kind of a reminiscent of Vishnu's Dashavatra, basically the 10 incarnations, guys. And however, like the new 52 is like sort of edgy, redesigned, character. It kind of diluted her meditative traits, and it sparks a lot of like fan backlash. Anyway, I do really love fan interpretation of her. Basically, like I think I mentioned it. Somebody drew. I forgot the artist's name, but I know his last name is Rodriguez. But somebody drew her in Indian attire and all of the wonderful jewelry. That could have been the Raven we had. If I'm being honest, that could have been her. Ooh, she could have been that girl. She really could have been that girl. I'm sorry. But like I said, Raven's narrative could really be a bridge between Eastern spirituality and Western heroism. Oh my gosh, she really could have been that girl. I keep saying it, but she really could have. And but they just remain unexplored. And I feel like by reclaiming her South Asian heritage, well, not even heritage, like, because I know her mom's white, but I don't know, do something about it, be creative. Yeah, like, come on. It could deepen her ties to Hindu and Buddhist philosophy. So yeah, this is my video. It's my first video, so please be nice to me, and I hope you enjoy. This is very rushed. I'm very sorry, but maybe I could like recreate more in the future. Also, my phone's running out of storage, so bye. 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 Bye.